Greetings my lovelies, and thank you for stopping by the circle today. I hope you're all doing well. And if you notice back here, you'll see that my planning board is absolutely empty. Well, not necessarily because I've already started some stuff, but I don't want you to see it, so anyways. The third book of A Tale of Blade and Darkness is quickly reaching its release date sometime within the fall. I'm not going to say anything else on that matter. If you want more dates, please be sure to check out my website. All that's listed there. However, I have realized something within the writing of this series that I wasn't sure if it was true when I was writing my trilogy. And the thing that I realized is that I have a limit when it comes to writing a series. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. How to survive writing a series. Let's go. So before I started writing A Tale of Blade and Darkness, my first books were a trilogy called The Lost Guardian. First book, loved it, amazing. Took me 3 years to do it because I had no idea what I was doing. Second book, picked up, a little bit of a struggle bus. Third book, more exciting, but I was like kind of struggling towards the end of it because I had reached my breaking point of being in that world and writing within that world. So when it was completed, I said, hey, I'm going to do another thing. And I was intending on doing something completely different that was going to be a standalone to give myself a breather, and I don't know how to stop myself. And I ended up committing to a 5-book series. I've just finished up the third book. It's going through its final revisions and all of that, and I could not exist in this world a second longer. And I have 2 more books that need to be written. Ha! And I'm sure quite for many of you guys have also felt the same thing, where you may be writing a series or you're just kind of writing maybe multiple books and you're like, wow, I am getting to the point where I'm getting hella burnt out in being in this one particular world because it feels like it's starting to constrict me and constrict my freedom and my creative writing process. And dear Lord above and the writing God, save me. Well, don't worry, I got you. I got like 5 simple little tips that might help you out. And starting off in no particular order, number 1, work on other stuff. So when you start to feel like the ball and chain of your story dragging you down to the depths of lethargy and whatever else it is that you're feeling with it, take a little bit of a break and work on other things that are related to your series. This could be like maybe developing some merchandise for your book. Everyone loves stickers. Maybe getting some commissioned character art pieces that can be sold or given away depending on kind of how you work things out with your illustrator. You can also work on your social media in relation to said books. That could be creating Instagram and Twitter, Facebook ads or whatever, engaging with other people in social media groups about your book, TikToks, YouTube, whatever else. You're still technically working on your book, and marketing is a very important aspect of the writing process for publication, which can be done at any time. So when you start to feel the drudgery of writing, do something else that's still related to what it is that you're doing so that you're productive and don't feel bad about not writing. It's like, I'm not avoiding my work, I am focusing on something else that is equally as important. Number 2, continue to work on your world building. Now, should you have a generalized, almost complete picture of your world before you start writing? Yes. Should all of your characters be really fleshed out before you even begin writing? Also yes. Does that always happen? No. Do you end up using everything that you more world build? Also no. Case in point, I had an entire 2 countries that my characters were going to go to in this book until a very important question came up during my beta readers about pacing and timelines, and I was like, yep, nope, gonna have to take this off because that's not realistic. And yes, fantasy can be realistic. But anyway, I digress. I had to go back, change some things, and then work a little bit more in a section of my world that I had originally not intended to be fully involved in. It was more just a passing fancy, a little bit of notions that I could pull to help describe characters from that region. And then I had to make up a whole lot more. You also have characters that pop up out of the fucking blue, like Charlotte. In the last book of the Lost Guardian trilogy, she popped up and decided to stay around. And I'm like, well, I gotta think a little bit more about her. So you can take some time to flesh out, and you may also rework some things in your world. Some areas that you didn't realize that were lacking in, or areas that were like a little bit weaker. You can clarify magic systems and political systems. You can also do things like maybe develop a map if you haven't developed a map already. And when it comes to your characters, if you decide that you want to rework some stuff that you're going to maybe have to go back and fix, or change a course of action so you don't have to go back and fix anything, but you gotta get them into the new direction that you're going. Those are also very useful things that you can do when you don't feel like writing. Number 3 is actually a big one, and that is setting a realistic timeline. Now, the setting of timelines will get better the more you write, because you're kind of know how long it takes you to do particular things. And I've seen some videos where people have asked, like, what about these authors that do these rapid releasings? It's killing me to try to keep up with that style of writing, that timeline of a book every like 6 months. Like, how do they do it? They write them all in advance, or at least nearly all of it in advance. So typically, like, let's say they have a 6-book series. They have written at least 3 of them before they've even released the first book, so that they can do that rapid releasing. Some of them have them all done, and then they do the releasing. So, but that doesn't mean that they just write it and then they don't do anything with it. They write their first book, they go through revision, it goes to the final editor, everything is done with that book. Then they've already started the second one. And so they've completed it, they just haven't released it. And so then they do the rapid release, and it looks like they are just writing gods, but really they have planned out everything accordingly. For me, it typically takes me like a year to like a year and a half to write a book. If it's the first book in a series where it's a whole new world, it typically takes me a little bit longer because I've spent some time world building, and it takes a lot of time to get that set up. Your first book in a series is like your first act of a story. It's a lot of setup. And typically when it comes to books, and where you read, different articles will tell you different things, but like books have like a shelf life, and it's like 2 or 3 years tops before like you start noticing like a downward trickle of sales with it. Although I would take that with a grain of salt, because my Lost Guardian series is getting like a lot of love lately, which is fantastic because I get to go back to this world and talk about it, and now it makes me want to write some novellas for it. But that book is nearing its 10-year anniversary. Like, I'm working on a special edition of all 3 altogether for the 10-year anniversary of the first book. So take it all with a grain of salt. But it goes back to knowing how long it takes you to write a book. So if you are trying to do a series and you want to pace yourself, as it were, let's say it takes you a year and a half to write a single book. Like, it's done and ready for releasing. Okay, you have that year and a half. Maybe take off a couple of months in between to like relax, or just know that you can roll right on into it, or maybe take a month off and then kind of roll into it. Don't try to make yourself do things that are just physically impossible for you to do. We all have lives. Very few people can be 100% supported by their writing. Even most authors have some other type of job or other type of passive income, especially amongst the indie community. So knowing your own limitations, just work within it. Don't give yourself unrealistic expectations, but also don't take like 10 years to write the next book, because people will lose interest. Number 4, this one is my favorite, and it's just take a day. Sometimes you just need to take a day to do abso-fucking-lutely nothing related to your writing, to marketing, to being an author, and just be a person. That could be going out with your friends for an entire day to do like a shopping or running errands. It could be going to the beach, or going on a camping trip, or sitting in your favorite chair with a pile of books around you, like some Dragon Hoarder, Book Dragon, and finally get through your to-read mountain, and or paint or knit or crochet or do whatever, garden, Whatever it is you gotta do to feel like a human that doesn't have to do with the thing that's giving you stress. That one's the hardest to do, I'm not gonna lie, because you can't give from an empty cup, and when you are starting to feel the pain of writing, it's typically because your cup is empty and you need to take some time to refill it. And number 5, and this is the one I am going to be implementing, is put the series down and do a jump book. And what I mean by a jump book is a book that you just has nothing to do with that world. It is completely different, just to shake things up. After the 3rd book of A Tale of Blade and Darkness comes out, I'm going to work on the first of another duality. Duality, not a series, a duality. This one is just staying at 2. I've already thought about most of the world. I've got roughly like a third of the world built. I have a map for it because I build based off of maps. It's just something different to sort of shake things up, because I get really excited with new projects. So I'm going to do a new project. Once that book is done and out, then I'll come back and finish the last 2. And then once those last 2 are done, then I'll finish up with the duality. Or maybe do the duality somewhere in between the last 2 books. Well, again, take that with caution, because people will lose interest, but they can also be interested in your other book, which maintains just interest in you. Because we really want people to be interested in you as an author, so they keep reading all of your stuff. And sometimes just doing something completely different revitalizes, freshens up, makes the old world not so old anymore because you haven't been there in a year. It's kind of like when you go off to college or you've lived abroad for a while and you come home and you're like, wow, this is like a whole new world to me, even though you grew up there. There you have it. Those are just 5 little things that I do that tend to help me out when it comes to writing series. But the biggest point of the matter is don't stress yourself out. Write how you can write, do what you can do, and when you have to take those breaks, don't beat yourself up over it. So, alrighty then, my lovelies, happy writing, and I will see you all next time. Bye!